Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of JYP vs. Hero from the ASUS Republic of Gamers Assembly Winter 2012 tournament, spawning in the top left position as the Red Protoss. Playing from Team Evil Geniuses, we have JYP. Spawning in the bottom right position as the Blue Protoss, playing from Team Liquid, the loser of Game 1 and the man that really needs to make a comeback in this game if he wants to push this to a Game 3. Playing from Team Liquid, we have Hero. Now, Hero did select this map. I don't know if he's going to have some kind of something special planned. One thing that I know about Antiga shipyards is that going for a lot of very early attacks are really difficult on this map. This is the GSL version of this map, so that means that both players are going to be forced cross-spawn. So they know immediately where their opponent has spawned, but the rush distances are just so long that if you're going to do any kind of super early attack, you really need to proxy some gateways here, something like that, and it's really super all-in at that point. So it's not going to be something that we most likely see from either of these players. It is almost never done among the pros. Now, what I can say about this map is that there's one common build that we see a lot, especially on the Korean server, and that is Blink Stalker. On this map, Blink Stalkers are very strong, just because you have so much surface area along the outer edges of your base that if you get an observer here on the high ground, blinking into the base, either into this little grayed out area over here, or just coming up here, blinking up here, to start to deal damage to the units at the front can be really super strong, and we see that quite commonly among Korean players, because Korean players really do favor Blink Stalker play. So we're going to have to see if either player is going to be going for any kind of Blink Stalker in this game. Now, we are going to have to see what Hero is going to be doing, because Hero is the one that's he's behind. He's the one that's going to either need to play this safe, or he's going to need to play this super aggressive and just try to win this early on. I kind of have a feeling Hero's going to be playing this a little bit safer. From the way I've seen Hero play, he's just so good at macro. His macro is just so strong. He's so good at having just a feel for what his opponent is doing. His game sense is just so good that he really favors playing a little bit more macro-oriented. Gonna have to see if that is what he's going to be going for. Both players are going to be scouting after Cybernetics Core here now. That is something that is kind of important to note. It's kind of a small point, but it's kind of cool. On Game 1, where we were on Shakuras Plateau, both players scouted right after Gateway. That's because there are two possible scouting places for your opponent. On Shakuras Plateau, there's two places that you have to scout, and you could scout wrong the first time. So here in Game 2, which is going to be on Antiga shipyards, you know immediately where your opponent has spawned, so you don't need to scout quite as early. So both players waited till after their Cybernetics Core, went for that little bit more economic style of scouting, getting a little bit more minerals there before going on their scout and sending that probe out. Now both players are going to be opening here with a 2 gateway, and it looks like it is going to be a 3 stalker rush here from LiquidHerO. This is something that was very popular for a short while, and it's still fairly popular among a lot of players, though it has grown a little bit out of favor, but still a lot of players are doing it. It looks like that's exactly what Hero is going to be doing, as the first stalker is now out and 2 more stalkers are now being chrono boosted out. What this allows you to do is it allows you to get a lot of good map control, scout for a lot of early pylons, that kind of thing. JYP also got out an early 2 gateways, but instead he went for this early Sentry and early Zealot here. So he's going for Stalker, Sentry, Zealot. So it's not going to be quite as aggressive as LiquidHerO can be. But what this 3 stalkers allows you to do is oftentimes, if you are really good about controlling these stalkers, you can really start to, I'm going to set myself on busy there. Yeah, there we go. Bam. Busy mode. Now I won't be getting messages during the cast from people that don't want to be seen on YouTube. And it looks like both of these players now just sitting on one base with identical production facilities. We do see both players producing a robotics facility right now, so 2-gate robo from both of these players, and it looks like Hero might be gearing up to go for some kind of an expansion. We do see the Nexus now being thrown down here by LiquidHerO. What was I saying before? There was something I wanted to finish saying about the 3 stalker rush. Ah yes, the 3 stalker rush. If you go for that early 3 stalker rush, and you're really good about maneuvering around the map, keeping map control with these 3 stalkers, you can actually shut down a lot of 4 gates. Or not, maybe not shut down, but you can delay 4 gates quite a bit just by killing those forward probes, taking down those early pylons, and almost entirely shutting it down just because your opponent has to run all the way across the map with every single group of units that he warps in. One of the big strengths of the 4 gate is that distance does not matter. Warp gates do not care about distance. Wherever you have a pylon, that's where your units can be produced. So that's one of the big strengths of the 4 gate, is that you can pretty much just be producing your opponents at their front door, and their defender's advantage is pretty much gone. Now, we do see in the base of JYP that Blink has just now been started here. It is being chrono boosted out quickly. We do see 2 more gateways now going down here for JYP, so it looks like it is going to be some kind of a Blink Stalker play here from JYP. And how is Hero going to be dealing with this? He's actually throwing down a couple more gateways on his own. So far we have identical production facilities from both of these players. 4 warp gates and 1 robo. The difference though is that LiquidHerO is going to have this Nexus up. Notice he's already starting to mine on it. But JYP is going to have this Twilight Council up with Blink. Now, Hero does have this 1 forward stalker, going to be scouting out these pylons, keeping those pylons nice and far pushed back, but JYP has produced his first observer, and the first observer of LiquidHerO is about to meet, and both players do manage to spot each other. It is critical, it is so critical that JYP keep this stalker alive right now. And for Hero, it's so critical that he actually try to take this observer down. If he can actually pick off this observer, oh, some damage being dealt to it, but he picks off this observer, and it's going to completely destroy the ability of JYP to be able to blink up into the main. But no, the observer stays alive, and it looks like JYP is going to be blinking into the main. Hero having come all the way back here to be able to stop it. He's got 1 Immortal that's being chrono boosted out of this robotics facility, but it's being focused down by JYP. Will it get finished? Nice force fields going down, but it isn't going to be enough to stop JYP, and now JYP is just going to be blinking right back out of that base. JYP even picking off the observer. Brilliant play there by JYP. Now Hero has no observer, meaning he has no ability to take down this observer. So JYP is still going to be able to blink up into the main, even took down the robotics facility. So now Hero is being forced to remake his robotics facility, and Hero, I think, is in a lot of trouble right now. He does have a couple of Immortals out, which are going to be extremely helpful, but brilliant move here by JYP, force fielding the ramp from this lower position while he blinks stalkers up into the high ground, so effectively splitting up Hero's army into 2 parts. And so now JYP just going to be able to pick off a lot of these units on the high ground. Both of the Immortals have now gone down here for Hero, and there's a lot of Blink Stalkers out here for JYP. More continuing to stream in the front door, as it looks like they might start to pick off some probes down there. Hero continuing to try to warp in as many units as he can. Robotics facility still not done, so he can't get any Immortals back out to help him at all in this game, and so much damage is being done right now. Is Hero going to be able to hold on? He really needs to be able to hold on if he's going to win this game. If he can hold off this push, he's going to be in such a strong position. Looks like more Stalkers now going to go down here, and not a whole lot of workers have been killed here. I would almost think that JYP should have been going for some of these workers here while he was doing some damage and while some of those units were coming forward here, but it looks like no, he's just focused on taking out some of these units from Hero, but Hero is slowly gaining an advantage. As we can see, because he's had this mining nexus up for a while, he's slowly growing in food count, 67 food to 50, despite having to remake this robotics facility. And it looks like another Immortal is now out here for Hero, and Hero is looking like he might actually be able to hold this off. The unit numbers for JYP are just not that high right now. And as we can see, Hero's army is doing nothing but grow steadily. Notice another Observer now being produced here by LiquidHerO, as he, I think, is now in a good position, but oh, JYP could turn the tides here by doing a few blinks up into the main if he can pick off some of these production facilities of Hero, but no, it looks like he's just going to be forced to blink out once again. Oh no, but his blink isn't maybe not quite up yet. No, he does have blink ability, but he just sat for a little bit longer there, lost a Stalker that he probably shouldn't have. Now notice he's continuing to warp in more units, but Hero has finally managed to pick off the Observer. Notice no more Observers on the unit counting station here for JYP, so he no longer has the ability to blink up onto the high ground. Hero now just needs to hold, and look at this, Hero feeling so confident, just going to throw down a couple of assimilators there and continue to mine from these bases. Another nice force field going down here for JYP, locking off a lot of Hero's units, including his Immortals, but it looks like Hero is still doing a quite good job of holding off all of this early pressure here from JYP. And I think Hero might actually be in a good position to win this game. More Stalkers continuing to be morphed in here by JYP. Back in the base of JYP, he looks like he might be thinking about expanding here. But I think at this point in time, that would probably be a bad move to make just because Hero's been mining on this second base for so long. If we check out the harvester count right now, Hero is way ahead. 43 harvesters to 26. He's just been growing in harvesters this entire game long. We do now see Twilight Council going down here for LiquidHerO, so he's just continuing to tech now, feeling really, really confident about holding this off right now, just because he's seen the number of Blink Stalkers that JYP has been producing. It's really impossible for JYP to have thrown down a Nexus at all during any of this pressure, any of this early game pressure at all, and now JYP just being forced to pull back. I like what JYP was trying to do here. He used one sentry here, ran one stalker up the ramp, force fielded the ramp, and then blinked all of his stalkers up into the main there. Nice little move there, but Hero just doing such a good job of splitting up his units so well and stopping all the pressure from JYP. Now Hero at a huge food advantage, 90 supply to 52, and oh, looks like JYP gonna go for a bit of a counterattack here. Gonna be picking off a probe. Looks like Hero was gonna try to even take a third behind this, but now JYP is getting in here, and now Hero being forced to pull back with all of his units. One Immortal is now out. He's just trying to delay these stalkers from doing too much damage to his probes at all, and as we can see, he is going to be blinking now up into the main base, but it looks like Hero is going to arrive back here with his Immortals in time. Notice he did split off 4 stalkers, continue to apply pressure. JYP actually did try to expand here. I do not like that decision from JYP. I think this game is completely over. I don't think he has any chance of coming back. He's just so far behind in that harvester count that I really don't think that having this Nexus is going to help him at all. I think this game is pretty much over. LiquidHerO now double the food supply of JYP. Wow, actually JYP catching some of these stalkers off guard. They're going to be able to pick off a few stalkers there. Nice little pick off by JYP, but still I just don't think it's going to be enough. Nice force fields going down, even allowing him to pick off one extra force field, but now being forced to pull back because these Immortals are here and they do so much damage to stalkers. Now JYP being forced to pull back, but I think Hero might have taken game 2. He's in an absolutely fantastic position to win this game. This second base has just been mining so much right now. Nice move by JYP there. If you notice what he did there, he actually picked off the probe. There was a probe in this army before so that Hero could start placing some forward pylons here, but now because that probe was picked off by JYP, Hero's being forced to warp in all of his units back home, move them all the way across the map here, but it looks like Hero's gearing up to take a third right now, feeling so confident right now, sees that there's not a whole lot of mining going on at this Nexus at the natural, and that is now going to be focused down here by Hero, and Hero is going to be taking that Nexus down. JYP trying to blink up onto the high ground here, but because of this observer, Hero is able to see all of those stalkers on the high ground, even blinking up onto the high ground himself, going to be picking off all of these stalkers. One Immortal is going to pop out here very soon for JYP. Some of these units were cut off from coming up the ramp, but it looks like Hero finally getting up into the main, getting quite a few kills here with this Immortal and this Stalker, but now with those 2 Immortals up in the main, JYP is going to be forced to GG, and Hero takes Game 2 of this series, meaning we are now going to be jumping into Game 3 because it is tied 1-1, so stick with me, guys. Game 3 of JYP versus Hero from Assembly, winner 2012, coming up in just a moment.